listings. And as I'm reviewing my notes, a lot of the core of what I teach is not about selling, about closing, about memorizing scripts. It's about influence and psychology. And today I want to give you a secret. I want to give you something that will help you turn more hesitant clients into good clients, more prospects into appointments, more appointments into listings. And it is an insight that will help you understand why some people stall and hesitate, and how you can use the same force, same influence force, to get them going. Now, this is not about manipulation. This is not about force. You cannot make decisions for somebody else, but if they are motivated, they have a desire to move, to live somewhere else, this is going to be helpful. You ready? All right, of course, if you have any questions about this, post them. I'll be happy to answer them. But let's get started. You ever had a seller where they have a solid reason to move? They have a place where they want to be. They have a destination. They have a reason. And yet they're stalling. They're like kind of, call us later. And we don't know what we're going to do. And we're not ready yet. You ever wonder what's going on? Why are they stalling? There's a force. There's something that's holding them back. And I'm going to show you today how you can use that something and actually deploy it to your advantage, to unhinge them, to get them unstuck, to keep them moving. What is the answer? What's holding them back? It is the most dominant driving force in human behavior. And this will give you an insight what makes people tick, what makes people do certain things or not do certain things, even though it's in their best interest. It comes down to one word, friends. And it has been with us for millions of years. This has to do with our neurobiology, with our evolution, more than intelligence, more than dominant behaviors like cognitive, conscious, logical behavior. And the word is this. It's fear. People will do more to avoid pain because they're afraid of fear than anything else. Fear is the strongest dominant driver in human behavior. Isn't that crazy? Even if it's in our best interest, we avoid pain. We're so afraid of pain, of discomfort, we will do anything to avoid it. Think about it this way. Do you feel excited, enthusiastic calling expired listings? How about following up with leads? Is there a lot of juice, a lot of positive expectations, good feelings? Usually no, right? Because in your mind, your brain has associated fear and pain, of rejection, of discomfort, of boredom. It's the same thing with your prospect. That prospect who clearly would be better off in a beautiful condo in Florida, they have it all lined up, is still stalling. What are they afraid of? What is the fear? It can be emotional attachment to the property. It can be not getting enough money. They're afraid they're not going to get enough cash out of the house. What if the market's changing and we're not going to get our $300,000? Well, you're not going to get your $300,000 because your place is worth $150,000. Has that ever happened to you? Of course it has. Happens to all of us. They may be afraid they will hate the new neighborhood. They're afraid of the whole process, strangers wandering through their house. Nitpicking, complaining about the drippy faucet. They're afraid of hiring the wrong agent. That's a big one. What if we make a mistake? What if the other guy who charges less could get us more? Fear is a strong, powerful, dominant driver in human behavior. So now, knowing that, it's a two-step process for you to understand it and correct if you can, influence if you can. Number one, align with them. Understand that many of these folks that you deal with haven't sold a house, sometimes in 10, 15, 20 years, sometimes ever. And so the process, the words, the terms, the whole thing that to you and I is like, well, yeah, of course, that's how it works. Easy breezy. You understand the terms, you understand the words, you understand everything. To them, it's like a foreign language, and it's very scary. Not to mention we, as an industry in general, don't have a whole lot of good reputation. So just knowing and understanding people will deal with a lot of fear and a lot of pain associated with all this will help you. Number two, qualify what the fear is. You as a master communicator, and a lot of that we're going to work on during our workshop here in May, is to determine what worries them. And questions like, have you ever sold a house like this before? Have you ever sold a house before? When was the last time you sold a house? See, many sellers think It's not that hard. You put a sign up there, people will just flock. We got them internets now and Facebooks now. And you and I know it's way more complex than that. Sometimes getting that right buyer in there is just the first of many steps to successfully close a transaction. So asking like, when was the last time you sold a house? Asking questions like, what concerns you the most? What worries you the most? Questions like, if you follow up with the seller who keeps stalling and stalling and stalling, what's holding you back? Why not do it now? I'm not here to pressure you. I'm just trying to understand, see if I can help. Isn't that a powerful way of communicating? Especially if you do it with empathy, with authenticity, not as a script, but as a conversation between two human beings, which is what I'm going to teach you how to do, present and communicate, because the best presentation is a conversation. You will get a lot of insight. Not to mention, you will get a lot of connection. Because now you're not just a needy salesperson trying to get a listing. Now you're somebody who really cares, who wants to understand and wants to help. That's very powerful. Knowing that there's a lot of pain, a lot of fear that may be associated with them making the right decision, picking the right agent, can help you a lot. But now you can deploy it also on the other side. Because one of the biggest fears we have as human beings is this. Fear of missing out. We don't want to miss out on opportunity. We don't want to miss out on things. Something that would benefit us. So if you have a seller who wants to be closer to the grandkids down in Florida, who wants to reconnect with her daughter, who wants to have the rest of the life spent around people who love her, is missing out. Fear of moving is holding them back. So now you have a conflict of these two. There are two emotions at battle. Big battle. Good recreation, right? With sound effects and all. I'm telling you, we're going all out. Borino Productions, full live immersive experience here. So you have these two battling it. On one hand, they have the desire to be there. They want the love, they want the connection. On the other, the fear and pain of going through the hassle of packing and moving and doing all that is holding them in place. But then there's a second fear. Fear of missing out, and you deploy that as a master influencer and communicator. Now, this requires certain prerequisites. That is, good relationship, some type of connection already, trust that's already established. You can't do this cold. But after some follow-up, after some connection, that may take just a short period of time, doesn't need to be weeks or months or years. You can start asking questions like, Mary, let me ask you, if you could have it any way you want to, you could be down in Florida, spend a lovely summer with your grandkids, hang out by the pool with them, reconnect with your daughter, enjoy the lovely condo you picked down there. Or you can just stay here. Same house, same neighborhood, everything the same. What would you prefer, ideally? So now I am future pacing the experience they can have down with the family versus fear of missing out and staying here. What are they missing out on the quality of life? What are they missing out on connection with the family? We don't know how much time we have left. You and I, we don't know. We think it's going to be long, but the reality is it may or may not be. Are you following it? So now I'm deploying the fear of missing out to override the fear of the move, the scary future, that in their mind they created a scenario that may or may not be true. We know that most of these fears are unfounded, but that doesn't mean they're not real. So I create a juxtaposition, cool word, right? Juxtaposition. Ooh, I sound so scientific today. First, the recreation of battle, now scientific terms, come on, your Coach Borino got it together. So now you're putting them in contrast. Staying here, missing out on life, everything stays the same, or enjoying life. Future pacing them with their core drive and emotion, with engagement, with something that really matters to them way more than stuff like dollars, sales price, and all that. Because can you really put a price on a loving relationship with your grandkids? You can't. On enjoying life, having it on your terms, having it architected any way you want to, whatever matters to them, whatever is the real reason why they want to move, you simply contrast it with reality of today if things don't change. Very powerful way, very strong, very, very impactful, deep communication and connection, and then consequently influence you can deploy with your clients. It takes a little bit of practice, takes a little bit of finesse and mastery, but you can master this. It's way more powerful, way more impactful than using some closing techniques and some scripts that everybody else is doing. The days of canned presentations and sales scripts and clever lines and objection handlers are done. The consumers are getting more sophisticated, more educated, and more sensitive to that shit. We don't want to be sold. We don't want to be pressured. Nobody does. Neither you, nor I, nor your prospects. But they do want to be helped. They do want to be understood. They do want the connection with you. They do want somebody who they can trust, who can be their guide, who can be their advisor. And you're going to be unstoppable. Because all of a sudden you don't have to sell yourself. Oh, I'm different. We have drones. We are the #1 in the area. Nobody gives a fuck. You're going to be authentic and real and genuine. And people will be literally magnetically drawn to you by using this kind of communication, this kind of approach. Helpful? What do you say? Can you do this? Of course you can. Absolutely. All right, guys. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for all the hellos. Miss Kim Minton, nice to have you. Natalie saying hello. Good to see you guys. Mr. Todd, Stacy. Looks like a lot of California in the house. Pasadena, awesome. Good to have you. On this side, Pat is here. Terry, nice to have you guys. All right. Use the strategy. Deploy it, but more importantly, learn how to do this right. Because if you do it wrong, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You're giving listings to your competition, whether it's discount brokers, online portals, other agents. There's plenty of people who need your help, but only one's going to win that listing. I want to teach you and help you how you will be that agent. That's my mission. So you don't get beat up. You don't spend all the time prospecting and following up just to get the listings taken by somebody else in front of your face. Or worse, have the seller sell you on a higher price and overpricing the fucker and sitting on it for 4, 6, 8 months, and then the seller being pissed at you. We're going to fix all that. And the answer is, of course, understanding human psychology, their behavior, and then influencing and deploying these advanced strategies. That's the way it's going to go. And if you don't learn it, somebody else will. If you don't know how to do this, somebody else in your area will, and it will dominate. And will take more listings, make more money than you. That ain't right. So, I'm here to help you, rock stars. Sign up for the class. If you want to talk to me about it, just put it here in the comments or shoot us a quick email. I'll be happy to jump on the phone real quick with you for a 10-minute conversation before you sign up. Okay? GoBorino.com/live is the URL. Would love to see you in DC. And of course, more tips, more good advice, more strategies coming to you from my coach Borino. Thanks for being here today. Really appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Let's go get them. Bye, everybody.